And let's start. First of all, what is postmodernism? Postmodernism is defined as the theory of rejecting theories. And what is postmodern literature? Well, if modernism is characterized by an epistemological dominant, while postmodern works are primarily concerned with questions of ontology. Postmodernism is understood by rejecting modernism, and which in turn rejects romanticism. Modernists are represented by René Descartes in his philosophy, I Think, Therefore I Am, which represents the idea that humans are the center of the universe and their experience is important, and reason and objective knowledge are the focus. But what if reason and knowledge destroy? Like the knowledge of atomic energy has created the destruction of the atomic bomb. And so therefore we have to question it. What is the morality behind this and the results? From there, we can start looking at other philosophers who have changed their perspectives, such as Kant, who says reason cannot know reality, it only knows its own subjective constructs. Hegel says that reality evolves out of contradictory forces. Nietzsche, the intellect is weak and reason is a tool for weakenings. Derrida says there is nothing outside of context. Foucault says that questions what is the relationship between power and knowledge. And finally, Baudrillard says that we live in a hyperreality. And he defines this hyperreality as an inability of consciousness to distinguish reality from a simulation of reality, especially in technologically advanced postmodern societies. He also refers to the state of culture where media is produced in such staggering quantities that it has crossed the boundaries into reality itself, and hyperreality prevails. To understand this, we have to go back to the idea of Romanticism, modernism, and postmodernism. And Romanticism is also considered pre-modern culture, where art represents and therefore shapes reality. And it had done so for many years in art forms such as paintings, music, theater. And from there, this is before the 20th century. From there, we move into modern culture, where thanks to the Industrial Revolution and mass image production, we have a new kind of culture, which looks more real than traditional representations. We can see from the production of modern versions of the classics to new kinds of culture, such as political, scientific, or consumerist. From there, we can move into postmodern culture from the late 20th century until now, when we have new generations that have grown up surrounded by mass-produced culture. We are bombarded by culture which is shaping a new reality, one that is based on its previous representations, basically a copy of a copy of a copy, which was called a simulacrum. Some of the postmodern literary techniques include intertextuality, which can be a reference or parallel to another literary work, an extension of it, or the adoption of a style. It demonstrates that individual works are not isolated creations, but relationships between texts. Pastiche, which is a work of art that imitates the style or character of one or more other artists. Pastiche celebrates rather than mocking the work it imitates. Magical realism mingles and juxtaposes the realistic and the fantastic and the bizarre skillfully. Skillful time shifts, labyrinth narratives, use of dreams, myths, and fairy stories. Metafiction is a literary device used for self-conscious and systematic to draw attention to work's status as an artifice. A story about a writer who creates a story, a narrative footnotes which continue the story whilst commenting on it. Fragmentation consists of various elements concerning plot, characters, themes, imagery, and factual references, which are fragmented and dispersed throughout the entire work. It can occur in language, in sentence structure, or grammar. Temporary distortion involves fragmentation and non-linear narratives. Fabulation integrates traditional notions of storytelling, including fantastical elements such as magic and myth. Paranoia is the belief that there is an ordering system behind the chaos of the world. Irony is the difference between appearance and reality, and there are three types: verbal, situational, and dramatic. Finally, technoculture describes the influence that technology has on culture, and hyperreality is a reality where simulations replace the real. Some works may touch on one or several of the different techniques overlapping between one another, which would bring us back to the postmodern culture, where reference or the copy of the copy of the copy is the central theme, and one cannot distinguish between reality and its representations. And that is all for our presentation. Thank you very much.